every real work that they have ever done, they always knew that man would revert back to type if he did not keep his culture. This they describe in their depictions of the tenuous polarity of equilibrium between Set and Heru, between Set and Osiris Osar. You see, these were cosmic forces that represented a form of gravitation felt between the higher and lower natures of man. Heru, Set, all of these were not people. Just like no man, no woman, no nothing ever existed in the Bible or in the Quran. Oh man. Tell a Christian he didn't have a history. Tell a Muslim that nothing like that ever existed. Tell a Jew that none of these patriarchs that they're talking about and gods and forces that never existed. And my own brother will kill me. Our ancestors saw this tendency towards chaos, atrophy, disequilibrium, and degeneration as a deeply rooted active principle that they had to resist because an overindulgence in their lower natures kept them trapped within continuous cycles of regeneration and reincarnation. All that said, when looking at ourselves today, how do we describe what we see? How do we describe and define this new paradigm mutation of the archetypal African spirit? Who is this pathogenic devolution of African spirituality? Who is this doppelganger, this schizophrenic twin now identified as a Negro, an ex-slave, a nigger, a black, an African-American, an Afro-American, a minority, underprivileged, undereducated, underclass, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite, a Christian? All of the derogatory terminologies that we in our state of spiritual amnesia have come to claim as our own identities, terminologies, substituted for our rightful classifications as the dark matter father and mother of civilization, the cradle of civilization, astronomer, astrologer, scientist, doctor, alchemist. But you're a Christian now. You're no longer a mason, a sculptor, a scribe, a botanist, an agriculturist, a geologist, an architect, a psychologist, a warrior, a Kemite, Cushite, Ashanti, Dravidian, Olmec, Mayan, Moor, Twi, Bantu, Zulu, Yamakra, Yamasi, Creek, Seminole, Sumerian, Atlantean, Lemurian. You see, beloved brothers and sisters, today religious-minded Africans and indigenous peoples, both here and on the continent, have a genuine deep-seated paranoid schizophrenia of actually being associated with the above descriptions of our ancestors. None of y'all want to say that you're African. None of y'all want to say that you're from there. Kemite, you Egyptian? No, the Egyptians held us. They held the Jews in slavery. They even got black people in the Hebrew Israelites really believe the Egyptians did that. But if they look at their books, the Jews have always been in bondage because Jews, quote unquote, in the Bible never existed. The Jew is simply matter. Let me say that again. The Jew simply means matter, that which is bound up in matter, that which is bound up on the third density. So Jews always going to be in captivity because Jews represent the spirit bound in matter. That's it. No big to do, no great big story to go, no worry about parting the waves and all that bullshit. The Red Sea is your blood. The Israelites are your genetics. Most religious-minded black people have developed disassociative mentalities and get rabidly indignant if you dare to say that they are Africans 500 years removed. Negroes like Stanley Crouch, who know for an unequivocal fact that they are Americans. Always were and always have been. But this dissociative mindset is the result of the genetically implanted trauma-based hypnotic suggestions forced into our recently shocked and injured psyches by the doctrine of Willie Lynchism. Hypnotic suggestions that mold the religious mind conditions you to see this type of dissociative mentality as normal. When I say that I am African or I am indigenous, if I am this, that is somehow insanity. Africans who worship or at least recognize their ancestors in current Africa are said to be covenanting with demons. Any thought that entertains the fact that you are an orphan of African spirituality and consciousness is met with a discernible disturbance, a kind of queasiness deep in your chest and your bowels, doesn't it, Christian? Isn't that how you feel, Christian? You feel a kind of queasiness when I say you're African. Kind of start getting upset because the Jesus demon starts working you. This is the artificially created, fragmented psyche kicking in. The altered state artificially created by trauma and the combination of hypnotic suggestion. So when I say to your religious mind, that altered fragment of your traumatized African psyche, that no such person as the God-man Jesus ever existed, no apostles, no Moses, no Paul, no John the Baptist, no Adam, no Eve, no Noah, no Mary, no Joseph, no Isaiah, no John the Revelator ever walked amongst your true historical ancestors in the flesh, immediately your learned, hypnotic-induced defense mechanisms kick in and forces a complete shutdown of all critical thought and thinking, causing a complete theocratic brain lock. My beloved brothers and sisters, in closing, I'd like to bring 2 points. One, African peoples, in fact, all indigenous peoples, were once guided by a cosmic spirituality cultivated from an external relationship with Nature Mother and an internal relationship with Father Spirit. We mined and cultivated from within ourselves the most beautiful, wondrous, and exquisite treasures from the realms of dark matter consciousness that still stand as eternal testaments, unmatched on the soils of North America and South America, Africa, China, Europe, in the depths of the Atlantic and the Pacific, under the ice caps of Antarctica and the North Pole, and yes, even in the semi-desolate plains of the planet Mars, and on to the moons of Europa and Titan. These monuments, carvings, and papyri persist as eternal declarations of the quintessential creative African spirit. But brothers and sisters, what in the Creator's name have you erected since? What have we created? What testament to cosmic intelligence and our spirituality have we recently etched in stone or ascribed unto papyrus? What last names have we turned? When last have we turned lead into gold? Or communicated with our ancestors, nay, with our progenitors on Sirius and Orion, now that we have reverted, or rather have been converted to a type, now that we all got religion. Brothers and sisters, language, as the brother said, is the rudimentary instrument or system for encoding the perceptual measurements of time, space, and dimension. This is precisely why our ancestors were so meticulous in their use of expressions of the letters and words and language. This was especially true of the Dogon people. In the Dogon mystery system of occult science, knowledge, understanding, and their natural evolution into wisdom were arrived at through synthesis of 4 psycho-spiritual principles of attention and discernment. These 4 psycho-spiritual principles were called the Gidi-so, the Beni-so, the Bolo-so, and the So-Dai. The Gidi-so was the front word, the Beni-so was the side word, the Bolo-so was the back word, and the So-Dai was the clear word. And what's happening today is you only know how to learn the way the white man taught you, with the front word. That's why our brothers and sisters started saying you fronting. Because your people used to say, listen to what they said, see the front word, and then look at it from the side, and then look at it from the back and say, you full of shit. Because all of what you have said don't jive. It ain't 360. That's why they took your tongue, like the brother said. Because it was not the clear word. After the 3 sides were seen, then it was clarity. And there is no clarity in this language. That's why I have to use all kinds of weird, different kinds of interpolated, patched together words to get you to enter and understand what it is I'm talking about. Who is this crazy motherfucker talking this nonsense? If you go back on the tape and listen to the tape, it's like, what the hell did he say again? Rewind that.